What's happening, people? It's your girl Mina. Welcome back to the channel. You already know what it is. Mondays feel a lot more gloomy. Not only when you lose, but you lose in the manner in which Manchester United did. Big up to everyone locked in for today's episode of Daily Dose of Mina. Be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe. Let's treat this as a little therapy session. Let's treat this because that's what it's gonna be. We're gonna talk about yesterday's game. Essentially, the biggest question that I'm asking myself is what players need to be moved on. That is the biggest question of today, and that's what we're kind of going to discuss. We're going to talk about the game, talk about Ruben Amorim's post-match comments. We're going to talk about the performance in general, and I guess kind of understand, was it again individual errors? Was it individual decision making? Or do you think that there is just systematically something wrong at Manchester United? Big up to everyone that's locked in. Be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe. You know the rules, man. You come in, you wipe your feet, you say hi to everyone in the chat, and then you hit the like button as well. If you want to join the membership club, you can. It's the pinned comment in the chat. You get your badges, you get your emojis, you get your custom member content, and of course you get to support the growth of the channel, the ever-growing channel that is. Big up to everyone locked in. Show already says, what players need to be moved on? Question mark. How long you got? We got all day. We got all day to talk about it. So let's start. Let's actually start. I don't know if there's going to be much Manchester United news today. I have seen reports about United being interested in Theo Hernandez, so we'll probably touch on that. But I guess the biggest elephant in the room for me is that result against Bournemouth yesterday. I mean, it's not every day, guys, that Manchester United lose twice to the same team in different seasons, the same scoreline and the same manager. The only difference is that there's a different manager in the dugout for United. I was so embarrassed for Ruben when the roof started leaking during his post-match interview. You know what's even more embarrassing is the journalist reporting that like it's news. It's just that I don't want to. I don't know. I feel like is that news that needs to be reported? We've been knowing the stadium's leaking. I mean, today I just seen now there's a rat infestation at Old Trafford. I don't know if they're talking about the players or actual mice, but no, they're actually talking about mice. Apparently there is mice infestation at Old Trafford. Manchester United, listen, they are always in the news. Simple as that. They are just always like, we can't stay out of the news in any sort of capacity, guys. If it's not mice that they're talking about, it's leaking roofs. If it's not leaking roofs, it's Ineos saying or doing something to do with the women's team that's absolutely wrong and unjustified. If it's not that, it's something to do with the men's team. Manchester United are just always in the news. Like, I say this all the time, guys. I ask for one day of just quietness for Manchester United. Just one day. Is that possible? It's not. It's not. Big up to Z says, big up Minna, this club is cursed. Back-to-back 3-0s to Bournemouth at OT is utterly pathetic. It's beyond pathetic. And for me, it's like, there is no, like, there were changes in the performance per se, but equally, Bournemouth, for me, you look at them over the last 12 months, they've lost a key striker, but they brought in Evan-Nilsson, and I remember when they brought in Evan-Nilsson, and I said, even if this guy ain't hitting the mark non-stop, he will make a difference. Evan-Nilsson taught Zirkzee and Højlund yesterday how to play as a number 9 without scoring. Like, it's as simple as that. I can't watch other teams in the league have number 9s that impact the game in different ways than scoring if they're not scoring. I watched Dominic Solanke, even though Spurs got walloped. Dominic Solanke, he did the same thing against United, by the way, put in a performance as a number 9. I'm watching Alexander Isak week in, week out, put in a performance in as a number 9. I watched Evan-Nilsson come to Old Trafford yesterday doing Cruyff turns against Manchester United's defence. Are you having a laugh? Are you having a laugh? Minna turning on Zirkzee. I'm not turning on Zirkzee. If you watch my post-match review that I did, I said Zirkzee for me is a good player. I like Joshua Zirkzee, but he's a luxury player, i.e. he's the cherry on top when you've got your entire team assembled. And Manchester United don't have their entire team assembled. Is Joshua Zirkzee a decent player? Yes. I think a lot of these guys are decent players, but maybe are they right for the system? I don't know. Joshua Zirkzee for me, like, I've been to Old Trafford a few times this season. The Old Trafford crowd, I don't think they like Zirkzee because he's not a traditional number 9. Everyone is so used to traditional number 9s. I think Man United are a long way away from playing how Liverpool played with Bobby Firmino. Like, I think they are a long way away from playing like that, because there's a lot of other gaping holes in the team that they need to solve. Had Manchester United brought a prolific number of defenders and midfielders and strikers, and Joshua Zirkzee was the final player that they brought in for this project, everyone would have been like, you know what, I hear it. But it's not the case. And I don't think Joshua Zirkzee does, like, the criticism sometimes is over the top. Minna, don't you think Zirkzee is pathetic physically? Pathetic's a harsh word. It's a harsh word. I do get frustrated with Zirkzee. Yesterday, I tweeted after during the game. I said, Joshua Zirkzee, I double dare you to win an aerial duel, and he did. He won one. He won one aerial duel. How many duels did he? How many aerial duels did he have? 2 out of 5. He finished the game 2 out of 5. Osimhen news true? Bro, Saeed, I don't know what you're talking about. This is news to me. I ain't seen nothing about Victor Osimhen. Let me go check Twitter. I can't see anything on Twitter. Yeah, I ain't seen anything on Twitter, so I don't know anything about this Victor Osimhen stuff. But for me, like, all right, let's get into it. Seeing as you have opened the can of worms with Joshua Zirkzee. Check MU. All right, let me check that Twitter page. Apparently, there's news about Victor Osimhen. All right, this is news coming out of. Where is this news coming out of? This news is coming out of Italy. Let's double check it. This news is coming out from this is a well-regarded Naples news outlet. Manchester United are set to ask Napoli for Victor Osimhen for less than his 62 million release clause. Osimhen's agent has informed Napoli there could be some news soon. This is coming from Italy, from Naples. He's popping off right now in the Turkish league, but like Saeed says, he's not going to solve our issues. He's not. And also, I genuinely don't know, and I don't see. Maybe I'm just very maybe I'm negative. Maybe I'm not as optimistic. I don't see United doing a lot of business in the January transfer window, guys. I'm not gonna lie. Every day, guys, I will sit here. I will bring you a lot of news, but I think we're going to be clutching at straws every single day, because I just don't see United buying a lot of. I don't see them spending much money in the January transfer window unless we see a big name leave, unless Marcus Rashford leaves, unless a Casemiro leaves, unless somebody leaves and brings in about 30-40 million pounds. I don't see Ineos putting their hands in their pockets and bringing in players. I actually think Ruben Amorim will have to work with what he has available to him, and it's players like Joshua Zirkzee. Now, what did you lot make of Joshua Zirkzee's performance yesterday? Just quickly, 54 minutes played, 1 shot on goal, which was wide. He had 9 passes in the game. 9. 4 of them accurate passes, so he had a 44% pass completion. 9 passes in a game as a striker is poor. Let's be honest, it's poor. Whether the ball's getting to him or not, that's a different conversation, right? That's a different conversation. But as a striker, that is abysmal. 9 passes in 54 minutes. Clearly, Manchester United are not finding a way to get him involved. They are not finding a way to get him involved. And I actually have, just quickly here, let me actually share this. This was the starting lineup for Manchester United yesterday. And I actually have a kind of a viewpoint or opinion that Bruno Fernandes, Ahmad, Joshua Zirkzee can't work together. Joshua Zirkzee's best performance in a Manchester United shirt came in the Everton game under Ruben Amorim, where he had Marcus Rashford running in behind him. Ahmad does not make runs in behind. Bruno Fernandes was drifting wide a lot because Malacia was not kind of keeping the width as the wing back. As a result, Bruno Fernandes, who can't play wide, is now being forced out wide. And this is specifically, I'm talking about the first half, guys, specifically about the first half. So that's why I also think it was a poor performance from Joshua Zirkzee, because he does not have the kind of assets around him to play in the manner which he wants to play. And this is another player for me as an example that is, I don't want to say misprofiled, but he shouldn't have played yesterday's game. He should not have played yesterday's game. I look at Ruben Amorim, guys. I don't know if you guys are thinking the same thing. Let me know if you are. But he needs to figure out his starting 11. The starting 11 needs to be figured out. I'm tired of how many games are we into the Ruben Amorim era? Are we 10 games in yet? I don't know if we're 10. I don't think we're 10 games, but we're nearly 10 games in, and we still have yet to see a consistent lineup. How many games in? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So Wolves game will be game number 10. And I'm meant to believe that the manager still doesn't know what his consistent starting 11 is. That's tough to believe. That is really tough to believe. We need a consistent backline. It doesn't help with also De Ligt being out injured. It doesn't, like, a lot of players getting injured doesn't help. And this is why I think I said this a couple of weeks ago. Manchester United under Ruben Amorim need as much time on the training ground as possible. And this is why I say, I don't know, you lot might not agree with me, but this is why I say cup games, I'm not phased about it. Manchester United need to have as much time on the training field as possible. That's what the players need. The players need to train in the system. The players need to train regularly without having to. I feel like they train, then the next day it's a game, then it's recovery, then it's training again, then it's a game again. Like, they don't have enough time on the field. They don't have enough time in the training field for Ruben Amorim to work with them. We're going to talk about set pieces as well, because we're talking about pathetic set pieces. United defending set pieces is pathetic. It's equally as bad as them taking set pieces. And we're going to talk about that. But I genuinely feel like now that we're entering game number 10, which a lot of people said I've seen people saying, I'm giving Amorim 10 games to figure it out. By the 10th game, you should kind of have an idea, I think, of what your strongest, or maybe near enough your strongest starting 11. Now, if you think about the players that play consistently, Bruno is one of them. Mazraoui is one of them. Anana is one of them. Leach is one of them, if he's not kind of being rotated out. Ugarte is one. These are the players that I think Ruben Amorim intends to play with and intends to utilize. But man, these guys, they need time on the training ground to work with the manager. They really do. But let's talk about another elephant in the room. I feel like I'm just going to keep talking about elephants in the room. Let's talk about Bruno. Because yesterday was another example for me of a frustrating Bruno Fernandes performance. 74% pass completion, which is statistically, when you hear that number, it doesn't sound horrible. I think 85 for me should be the benchmark. 80 to 85 should be the benchmark. But Bruno played in two different positions yesterday, and I don't know which position he was worse in. Was he worse playing as the 210s, or like Bruno and Kobe does not work. That is not a midfield partnership I ever want to see again in my lifetime at Manchester United. Because for me, Kobe is not a 6. Bruno's not a 6. So neither of them are doing the defensive side of the game. Well, if they are, there's a deficiency. There's a weakness there because it's not their strong suit. Bruno Fernandes playing in the deeper role yesterday, for me, it didn't work. It did not work. But equally, I'm saying that him playing in the 10 didn't work. I'm very curious to see whether he continues to. Let me say it like it is. I wonder if there's other players in that position that could be utilized better by Ruben Amorim. And that obviously requires a transfer window. That would require Manchester United to go out and, spend some money. But I genuinely watch Bruno's performances sometimes, and he's very hot and cold. He's like, Bruno is very hot and cold. One day what bothers me a lot, right, with Bruno, and just with all the players actually at United, what bothers me a lot, you don't know what version of them that you're going to get when the game starts. You could get the most amazing Bruno Fernandes that is absolutely running the show, or you can get the Bruno that is just causing problems for you in and out of possession. But equally, I could say the same about any other player. And that is the problem. I think this is also a team that struggles with confidence, especially when United go down. I say this after every game. When United concede a goal, they struggle with confidence. And it's always a guaranteed hitter. If Manchester United concede one, they are going to concede another. It's always, I think, a guarantee. Big up to Riri, been a member for 12 months. Says, bless up Mina and the minions. Big up. Is Sacha I don't even know how to pronounce that word. A good source, that name, sorry. I think they are a decent source. But for me, the only good source out there is David Ornstein. I don't really be trusting other sources, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's news just, popping up about Manchester United signing players here. Yeah, I see what you're referencing about Victor Osimhen, and we'll come and talk about that later into the stream. But I want to know what you lot think of the Bruno Fernandes situation at Manchester United. What are your thoughts of Bruno Fernandes? You know what I realized also when I watched Bruno, guys? Because he has a lot of touches. He does have a lot of touches in the game. But watch Bruno Fernandes and tell me how many of the touches that he has in a game is meaningful touches. Because I think the term touches, statistically, I think it could be overinflated, because I could be taking the ball slowly up the pitch and every touch that I take counts as a touch. That counts as a touch. And I think with Bruno Fernandes, he takes a lot of touches, but how many of those touches are actually meaningful? And that is genuinely just a question. I just want to know. It's just a question that I'm curious to know, because I don't watch the games and feel like, for example, against Bournemouth, I don't think there's anyone that I felt like was good, except for, I would say, Ugarte, until he got taken off. Which I get it, yellow card, but I do genuinely feel like the second that Ugarte came off, Man United's midfield balance completely shifted. And like I said, you put Bruno and Kobe in the midfield with, not much athleticism. Kobe for me is not a 6. I say this all the time. He's, and I actually think Ruben Amorim is trying to figure out where to fit Kobe into, because Kobe playing next to Ugarte is fine because he has a bit more freedom to get forward. Because Ugarte is a simple guy. I think he just comes to work. He just wants to win the ball back, give the ball to his teammate, let them do their job. They lose the ball, he wants to win the ball back. It's a cycle for Ugarte. So Kobe can play next to him. But Kobe playing next to Bruno in the double pivot, it's not going to work. It is not going to work. And I really hope that Amorim has figured it out already. I mean, it took him 60 minutes of the Ipswich game to figure out that Marcus Rashford doesn't work as a 9. So I'm hoping that over the course of the last couple of games, he's realized Kobe and Ugarte is his better midfield options. And if he's going to play Maino there, he needs to play him alongside Ugarte. Just quickly, though, on Kobe Maino, just quickly. It's so sad. It's so sad that people have already found their next victim. Like, it's actually... people. There's some miserable journalists in the world. Fans, whatever you want to call it. I've seen journalists already. Marcus Rashford, the second he's out of that door, guys, Kobe Maino will be the next one that they run into the ground. And as fans, please, just don't... all I'm saying is don't allow people, especially the journalists, to talk shit about young players. Because, trust me, once Marcus Rashford leaves, they did it to Paul Pogba, they did it to Lingard, they did it to Martial, they did it to Marcus Rashford. They will find their next target. And they already have, by the way. They already have found their next target. It will be Kobe, it will be Ahmad. Don't let it happen. Don't let it happen. What did you guys make of this guy's cameo? Lots of square pegs in round holes in the squad. You know what, yeah? I was going to save this towards the latter part. But this is, bro, this is the squad or the players that... and I don't want to talk about Erik ten Hag, because this is life after Erik ten Hag. This is life after Erik ten Hag, yeah? But this combination of players, yeah, that he's left behind is abysmal. Like, it's actually really bad. And I hate this idea where people think, oh, see, it wasn't Ten Hag that was the problem, it was the players. But who brought the players in? Who brought the players in? Erik ten Hag's vision of how he envisioned Manchester United playing and the reality was two different kind of situations. Two different situations. But who brought in those players for that system? It was the manager. Look at this list, guys. This is 3 transfer windows. I can't tell you one hit. Probably Mazraoui, but even then, the bar is on the floor if I'm saying that Mazraoui is the only hit on this list when he's only been here for 3 months. Like, there is no justification for that, for me to say that, sorry, because he's only been here for 3 months. And if I'm saying, yeah, he's the only signing in this list, that just shows you how bad the signing is. I saw what's the guy? I was about to call him Quinton Fortune. Benny McCarthy. I saw Benny McCarthy speaking on a podcast about Ahmad and why Ahmad didn't get a lot of playing time under Erik ten Hag. And he kind of suggested that Ahmad wasn't getting playing time because Erik ten Hag put all his kind of might into backing Anthony. You know, he's brought in this player for 100 million. He has to play him. The system fits him better. He knows him better. He's more familiar with him. Anthony is probably easily on this list the worst signing out of them all. Easily, without a doubt. But let this kind of notion that it was the players under Ten Hag that was the problem. The players were the problem, but the manager was a problem too. Most of these players were brought in by that manager. And just on the topic of the players that he's brought in, what did you lot think of Rasmus Højlund's performance yesterday? I don't know how you guys watch Man United week in, week out. Twice a week, guys. We watch United 2-3 times a week. Yeah? We watch United about 2-3 times a week. There is no way on earth everybody is happy with the number 9 options that Manchester United have. The number 9 option is as big as an issue for me as left wing back is. I'm sorry. I'm not buying this idea. I understand they're young players. Some of them. I understand Rasmus Højlund's young. It's his second season. He's still developing. But Manchester United need a number 9. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. Manchester United effed up, excuse my language, yeah, but Manchester United effed up the day that they put all the weight on the shoulders of Rasmus Højlund. Rasmus Højlund had, what was it? I think it was 9 goals in his season before he came to Manchester United. At Atalanta, he had 9 goals in all competitions, I think, if I'm not wrong. I watched Joshua Zirkzee not disrupt the backline at all. Then I watched Rasmus Højlund come on and fight the backline. I'm sorry, you cannot watch every other team in the Premier League, yeah, that have good strikers. And the thing is, as a number 9, yeah, I genuinely believe as a number 9, if you're not scoring, like look at Evan Nilsson, for example, yesterday. Evan Nilsson, by the way, has 4 goals, I think, in the season. I think he's got 4 in 17. But it's his all-round work that Bournemouth fans don't get angry about. Yesterday, I watched him receive the ball on the half turn, do a Cruyff turn, get away from Maguire, drift out left. He had about 3 seconds on the ball to wait for the overlap. Bruno didn't close him down. Ahmad didn't close him down. No one closed him down. He waited for the overlap, laid off the ball. Overlap comes, ball across, cut back, goal. And that's all from your number 9. That's all from your number 9. I saw Højlund yesterday take a shot. I'm not mad at that. He had Garnacho on the left. As your striker, you want your striker to get at goal. But I can't fathom people that maybe genuinely believe that the striker situation will get better without United signing a better striker than what we have right now. Like, I genuinely believe, I like Højlund, I like Zirkzee. I just don't think that they are it's not the hill that we should be dying on. They are not the hill that we should be dying on. And I get it. You want to back your players, you know, young players that have been brought in. You want them to be like, wearing the number 9 for Manchester United is no joke. It's no joke. The same as wearing the number 7. What I've noticed is without Ahmad on right wing back, we are playing worse. I've said this so many times that I understood why Amorim was playing Ahmad at right wing back. I said this so many times. I understood why Amorim was playing Ahmad at right wing back, because we had width. We had the ability to drive the ball from the back line out wide. Now there's nothing. Like, our wing backs do nothing. They absolutely do nothing. False 9 was the meta 10 years ago. So United came to the party late and by a false 9 when classical 10s and 9s are making a comeback. We are so mediocre. Yeah, it's like turning up to the party late, expecting there to be food and there's no food. I like Omar Marmoush as a striker option. I'm not going to lie, guys. I feel like there's an abundance of strikers in the market. In the summer, there will be an abundance of strikers in the market. There will be, you know, the Vlahoviches, the Seskos, the Isaks. Then you got the Marmoushes, you got the Bonifaces, you got the Osimhens. There is going to be an influx of strikers available to Manchester United. And not just Man United, by the way, because United will not be the only team looking for a striker. The same thing with the left wing back. There will be a number of left wing backs available. Manchester United just need to get their ducks in order. That's it. That is it. Gyökeres, yeah, there you go. There's so many other strikers. Where are the academy graduates? Getting forced out the club. Ahmad can't be the only guy to take us forward. We need more from other teammates or Ahmad will get tired. Yesterday, you saw Ahmad not really get into the... He didn't really dial into the game, but not many of the players did. I don't think anyone did. And that's why I say we cannot become a team that is reliant on one player. Casemiro should be starting for us next to Ugarte. He's great at defending set pieces as well. Has anyone noticed Casemiro is being phased out? Am I the only person that is realizing that Casemiro is being phased out of the team? Or maybe phased out is the wrong term to use. But he's definitely not a piece that the manager is trying to use. He is definitely not a piece that the manager is trying to use. Big up to Abdullah, been a member for 2 months. Says big up the channel and smash the like, guys. We need to overhaul all the players. Glory, Man United. Yeah, I hope so, man. I really, really hope so. Casemiro and Ugarte was our best pivot under Rude. How many games has Casemiro played since Amorim has arrived? I just want to double check. I'm just noticing that he's not really playing anymore. So, yeah, he was an unused sub against Arsenal, unused sub against Forest, unused sub against City, unused sub against Bournemouth. He played against Victoria Pleasant. He played against Bodo Glimt. And he was an unused sub against Spurs. So, he's only played about 2 Europa League games for the manager. And outside of that, he's not even come off the bench. I think it's safe to say that we're seeing the end of Casemiro at United. We're talking about Rashford. We're seeing the end of Casemiro at Manchester United. And look here, guys. Casemiro will leave. Rashford will leave. You know who's going to be next? Bruno. All the high earners at the club are going to leave bit by bit. Bruno will get sold. Casemiro will get sold. Rashford will get sold. And you know who he didn't play, but I think I got a picture of him here. I think it's time for Man United to sell Mason Mount. And everyone keeps saying to me, so I tweeted it saying, is it time to let Mount go? And people were like to me, but where's he going to go? Who's going to take his wages? Listen, United take a cut. They need to take an L. Manchester United financially need to take an L when it comes to some of these players. We can't sit here on our high horse and say, wow, oh my God, we brought him for 60 million. We have to sell him for 60. No, we need to accept that mistakes have been made. Errors have been made. Flipping Jim Ratcliffe wants to cut costs in every possible way. Let those costs that you're cutting from the poor stewards and whatnot, let that cover this kind of stuff, because you got money to throw around and sack managers. So surely you can take the L with some players. Mason Mount, I'm so sorry. I feel so sorry for him. But Manchester United need to move away from sentiment. And I would say the same thing about any other player. For a guy that I think they said that he'll be out for 10 weeks. I think they said 10 weeks he'll be out for, which is a damn long time. That is a damn long time. You've given up on him, yeah? I think it's just unfortunate. It just never worked out. And there's nothing wrong with saying that. The thing is, with fans show, everybody wants to get one up on each other. Yeah, like, I told you so, I told you. I will admit it. I hoped Mason Mount would work, but it hasn't. And I hope Manchester United can identify that as well. I really hope Man United can identify that as well. Because otherwise, we're just going to be sat there every 3 months saying, yes, Mason Mount's back. And then a week later, oh, he's gone again. And then, yeah, oh, he's back. Oh, and then he's gone again. That's it. We're going to be stuck in a very, very vicious cycle. Our players get scared, anxious, and nervous, and I think Bruno contributes to it a lot. You don't want your leader to lose his mind every time we concede and play like there's 2 minutes left. Was it yesterday's game, guys? I can't remember exactly. Please correct me. but the ball went long. It was like the last 30 seconds of the game. The ball went long right-hand side, and Bruno plays a first-time ball across the box and no one's there. Was that yesterday's game or was that Spurs game? I can't remember. All the games are starting to feel like the same to me, guys. All the games are starting to feel like the same to me. I can't tell you what I'm thinking of in my head. I don't think it was a Bournemouth game. I think it was a Forest game because I think we were chasing a goal. Anyways, the point still stands. I don't know how the players feel, but I also look at this team and I see a team that lacks confidence. I see a team that have no composure, and that stems from confidence. Excuse me. I see a team that Amorim actually references it. Let me see if I can find it exactly, because he referenced the crowd and the nervousness. He referenced like the nervousness of the crowd, and about when when Onana has the ball. There was a specific quote about when Onana had the ball, and he says that, you know, when he has the ball and he stops, the crowd feels nervous, and that doesn't help. And I always realize, because Onana loves to do this thing where he slows the game down. But sometimes slowing the game down, in my opinion, does not help Manchester United. Slowing the game down is not necessarily always the best thing to do. And Onana does this thing where he will get the ball, put his foot on it. Sometimes he won't get pressed. Players will drag out, you know, one person will come short. And you've probably wasted a good 15, 20 seconds at that point. By then, the opponent gets the chance to get their shape back and close off any potential passing lanes. And what happens most of the time, guys, majority of the time, Onana just boots it long. He just boots it long. But it's interesting that the manager actually referenced this. He actually referenced it in his post-match comments. Here it is. He says, you can feel not just the players, but also the fans. You can feel it in the first goal kick from Andre Onana. He's thinking what to do, and he's trying to push the other guys, but everybody's so anxious. And I think in this moment in the club, everyone's tired of that sort of moment. So he's noticing these kind of moments. He's noticing these kind of moments in the game, which is very interesting to me. Onana went long too much. That's on him and the defenders in midfield. Going long to Zirkzee Højlund is pretty much useless. Bournemouth instantly gained possession. For me, you know what I don't get, guys? How can you be a striker and not win headers? Or not even compete for headers? I mean, the first goal United concede is from Højlund getting out-jumped by, what, a 19-year-old centre-back? Is he 19, I think? Yeah, 19. 19-year-old. 19-year-old centre-back that out-jumps him. And he doesn't, by the way, get anywhere near. He doesn't get anywhere near the ball. And I don't know if you lot realize, I wish, by the way, I wish I had a screenshot of the actual goal. Because the gap between him and the centre-back is like that much. There's a huge gap between him and I don't want to pronounce Højlund, the young kid from Juventus, if I'm not wrong. But I just don't get how you can be a striker and not regularly contest for duels, aerial duels in particular. Then I see people saying, well, he's not winning ground duels either. So what are you winning then? What are you winning? Just quickly on Marcus Rashford. I know everybody's probably tired of hearing about this. Marcus Rashford reportedly is unhappy that Manchester United have sounded out potential buyers for the forward without informing him. Sources close to Rashford have accused United of informing clubs of his availability, and he was unaware of this. I'm sure everyone is tired of this Rashford thing. You know what's so funny? I knew whatever the result would be against Bournemouth, Marcus Rashford would be brought up. If United had won, people would say you don't need Rashford to win. If United lost, they would say, you see, United can't win without Rashford. You can't win, regardless of what the result would be. I'm just hoping that this scenario, this situation comes to an end. It's a very unfortunate one, but I'd rather it not drag out for however many months is left. How many months is left of the season? There's still nearly 6 months left of the season. I hope it just doesn't drag out. But that is the news regarding Marcus Rashford. It sounds like his camp is not happy with obviously all the news that's flying around him. Reportedly as well, Ruben Amorim is under no pressure from Manchester United's hierarchy to remove Marcus Rashford from the squad. Omar Barada nor Jason Wilcox have interfered with Amorim's team selection. Now, again, Amorim came out, I think it was before the game, and said that, you know, you have to be training well and it's just about match day selection, etc., etc. Stop asking about Rashford. If he's not in the match day, then if he's not in the match day squad, it's very clear probably, I think, why he's not in the match day squad. But I have a question quickly before we actually move on. Do you guys think we've seen the last of Marcus Rashford in a Manchester United shirt? Do you guys think we've seen the last of Marcus Rashford in a Manchester United shirt? I think we have. I don't think we're going to, unfortunately, see him again. Yes, no way back for him, and rightly so. A lot of you guys saying yes. Some of you lot saying no. Some of you guys are saying that. I just do not know how it gets fixed. For one thing that I will say is that what Amorim said after the interview was very, was very smart. He said, you know, you want a new challenge? This is the biggest challenge in Europe, which is true. He did a bit of crowd control. We don't know what's going on behind the scenes. I think he'd play Europa. I don't think he will. We don't even have any Europa League games left until January. I think like in the middle of January. And for me, if you've been benched, forget being benched. If you've been out of the matchday squad for a number of games in a row, and even before then you weren't even starting, I think to me that's clear kind of that there's not really anywhere for you in the team. And it's not just Marcus Rashford. There's quite a few players I look at and I think, do you guys really fit in the system? Whatever it is Amorim's trying to build. If all our strikers are injured, I think he'll play. I think we'll even see Garnacho play up top or Ahmad play as a false nine before that happens. It's surprising to see how Rashford's saga turned after the initial matchday drop. I think the goal was for Garnacho and Rashford both to come back stronger. There's a lot of talk outside in the world about what happened leading up to the derby and him being dropped. There's a lot of talk about obviously how Rashford's interview kind of came about. It was apparently meant to be before the derby, then it got postponed, and then the club were aware of it, i.e. when it was going to drop, the club were aware that the journalist ran the story with the club before he kind of put it out. But I just think it's a bad look. It's just a bad look coming out. And like I said this in the video as well that I did about the Rashford thing, one side I understand his argument, but the other side I'm looking at the club and I'm looking at the team and I'm thinking, well, number one, I wouldn't want to be in a dressing room with someone that's in my team, guys, that has publicly come out and said they want to leave and they want a new challenge. Because every game we're going to war for 90 minutes. I will feel like you're not really going to war with me because your eyes are somewhere else. You know, your mind's somewhere else. So I can imagine that I am curious to know what the environment is around the squad, around the team, you know, the players in the dressing room. The manager did say he didn't know about it as well. But I think you can look at it from both sides of the argument. The one thing I don't like about this Marcus Rashford thing is that everyone thinks it's black and white. Like it's either you're on Rashford's side or you're on the club side. I think it's more easier to see both sides of the argument. You can definitely see both sides of the argument. But equally with saying that, we can also accept the reality and the truth that is, it's time to part ways. It is time to part ways. Whether it should have been done in the summer, whether it should have been done, you know, before his new contract, different conversation. But right now, this is the best time for them to part ways. I just wish it wasn't in such a sour way. Like, I just wish it wasn't in a sour way. Like, similar to, like, all the other players that never really got the opportunity to say goodbye to the Old Trafford crowd. It seems like maybe Marcus Rashford might not get that chance either. It really does seem like that. We just focus on Europa League and try to get Champions League football. Prem is done. Let me ask you lot an honest question. Do you guys genuinely want to be in the Champions League next year? Do you guys genuinely want to be in the Champions League next year? Because I see this argument a lot about, oh, we need to win Europa to get Champions League. Do you guys actually do you want to be humiliated in the Champions League? Because everything is not going to be fixed in 12 months. That's for sure. Everything is not going to be fixed. But I would much rather prefer Manchester United have as much time on the training ground as possible. Play one game a week. Play your one Premier League game a week. Everyone's saying, look, you're not all talking about money. Where is the billionaire that took over the club? It gives us revenue, you're right. It gives the club revenue, Champions League revenue. But shouldn't the owners be injecting money in the club as well? Like, genuinely, I want to know, do you not think Man United's squad after the summer, say there's a little rehaul, yeah, in the summer, United get rid of a few players, bring in a few players. Do you genuinely think that the best thing is to be playing in a new Champions League format where you're playing 2 extra games in the kind of opening stages before it gets to the knockouts? And United don't even have the squad capacity for it. They ain't even got the squad. On top of that, they still need time on the training ground under the manager. By the way, I saw that we're going to do a pre-season tour in Malaysia. I've been to Malaysia. There's lots of United fans there. So I'm happy that they get the opportunity to watch Manchester United. But again, this is a money-hungry club. They're doing it for money. They're doing a pre-season tour where it's at the end of the season, but before pre-season. Champions League is nonsense. I'd rather the team be broke so we are forced to sell these players that are not what they are worth getting paid. Yes, need the revenue, need the recruitment. It will heavily accelerate our rebuild. This is the problem, though. Are we not trying to find shortcuts for the rebuild every single time? Because I was told when we got Champions League under Erik ten Hag, let me just remind you guys, when we got Champions League under Erik ten Hag, who did we sign? Who did we sign the year that we got Champions League under Erik ten Hag? We signed Onana. We signed Rasmus Højlund. Who else did we sign? I'm looking at this list. And Mason Mount. That is what we signed. Those 3 players. This idea that United will have better pull if they're in Champions League. I saw us sign Ibrahimovic and Pogba, etc. Even though it was a different time. That's ages ago. Jose Mourinho, different pool as a manager. But my point is that you will be able to sign players once you have a project that's sellable. Once you can get people to invest in your project, i.e. mentally and physically, they can invest in what you're trying to sell them. Obviously, I look at Chelsea. Chelsea were out of European football. Yeah? Got a new manager. It helps that they've got 45 players because they can have 2 squads. They've got a good manager as well. But on top of all of that, under Poch, they had the opportunity to play 1 game a week. And I think that's why a lot of fans struggled to buy in to Poch, what Poch was doing at Chelsea, because he had 1 game a week. And even then, he could not get the players on board. He couldn't get the fans on board. So if you can't get people on board when you're playing 1 game a week, how can you do it when you're in multiple competitions? And this is the thing. I think people want to fast track this project. Oh, we need Champions League football because we need the money. We need to sign the people. Okay, you get Champions League football and then you're back at square one. What then? What then when you're playing every 3 games? You're playing a game, every 3 days. And every 3 days, you're training maybe once, 1 full session and 1 light session. Then the manager's coming out in the press conference saying, I need more time on the training ground. Ruben Amorim has alluded to it, that United have too much commitments. They've got too many commercial commitments. They've got too many media commitments. They've got too much commitments that do not allow them a lot of time on the training ground. And he's even kind of said that players do not get a lot of time on the training ground when they come back from injury. So when they go into the match day squad and they play, they get injured again. Because they're not training a lot, because they don't have a lot of time on the training ground, because Man United are playing every 3 days. And right now, December, you lot know the December period is always the most kind of congested football period. If you can get through December, you can get through any other period. It's not about 3 games a week money, Minna. It's about Champions League money. That is true. How much? All right. How much do clubs earn in Champions League? Because you lot are making it. Teams that advance from the group stage get 11 million. I'm saying that don't sound like a lot. That's a lot of 11 million is a lot of money, but in football, the way that you lot are making it sound, okay. This ain't a lot of money. And then there's there's the performance part, and then there's the equal share that clubs get, which is about 17 million. Where's Jim Ratcliffe? Where's Jim Ratcliffe, guys? Where's Jim Ratcliffe to put the money in? Just a question. I'm just curious. From 2000 to 10, we all laughed at Arsenal for being a top 4 team and never winning anything. We now aspire to be this. It's mad. Adidas pay extra for being in the UCL. That's true and obvious. But also, guys, can I just say, with Champions, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but with Champions League football comes a 25% bonus for players. So now we're going to be sitting here and complaining about players who are earning 300k, and then now we're going to be like, oh, they're earning 330k or whatever, 340k, whatever 25% is of that. We're just going to be complaining about that. Big clubs need money to sustain big wages. No, the UCL just makes everything harder. Our PSL would be under pressure. We'd see more academy players being sold, which we will be ultimately against. Listen, guys, I completely understand your reasonings for wanting to be in Champions League, but no one can give me a reason outside of revenue. No one can tell me, and you know what? How the mighty have fallen, because none of you are saying we can compete in the Champions League. We can go on and win it. Yeah, we should be in it because we can go on and win. No one is saying to me, so you guys just want to be in Champions League to make up the numbers. We're no better than, I don't know, I'm trying to think of other teams right now. I was going to say Schalke, but I found out the other day that they're not even in top tier football anymore. But nobody is saying to me we should be in Champions League because we can win it, because we can compete. We want to be there to make up the numbers. That's it, for participation. That's really it. Signings, that's valid. But then what if history repeats itself? When Erik ten Hag got Champions League football, he ended up with Højlund, Onana, and Mason Mount. For me, like, there's so many players out there in the market that I would really want United to go out and get. But I also look at other players and I think United could still get them with or without Champions League football. I genuinely think that. I watched Zirkzee, guys. I'm sure you lot all watched Zirkzee yesterday. Show wing backs what they're supposed to do. I don't know what you lot thought of Milos Zirkzee's performance yesterday, but he caused problems for Ahmad. He forced Ahmad to come central. Ahmad could not go out wide. He could not go out wide because Zirkzee shut up the shop. He couldn't even go and window shop. United can sign Zirkzee if they wanted to. I'm sure they could. I'm absolutely sure they could. Other players that United are linked to, I'm 100% sure United could sign them if they tried. With extra UCL money, it won't hurt as much if we have to sell players at cut rates. That's true. That's true. Now, if 3 teams come in for Milos and 2 have UCL, 1 doesn't, who do you think he chooses? It's all about the club pool. It's all about the club pool. Look at those signings. Yeah, those signings are pants, man. Those signings are... They are pants. They're really bad. They're really, really bad. We make 190 million from sponsorship revenue. 90 of that is Adidas. 60 million is from Snapdragon. The rest is from like Tessos and that sleeve sponsor. 190 million a year is a lot. That's a lot. That's a lot. We could sign Anthony Robertson without UCL football. Same with Morgan Rogers. I don't know if, because I've seen people talking about this. People talking about Morgan Rogers, Cunha, talking about João Pedro. A lot of players that, I think United fans are looking at as potential improvements to our squad. What is the likelihood, guys, United go out and sign from the Premier League? I have a part of me feels like it might not be likely that United look at because I feel like United will look at the Premier League and think other clubs will make it difficult for them to sign their players. So, Bournemouth will make it difficult to sign Zirkzee. Wolves will listen, if Wolves go down, I'm all for it, man. Go over, yeah, and sign Cunha. Go right over there if Wolves go down. I'm not keen on Jared Brantwaite at Everton either, but if they go down, You might have to go and snoop around that side of the city. But I hope Man United's recruitment strategy is a lot better this year, because last summer, I don't know if you guys remember, in the summer transfer window, I felt like United's recruitment strategy, just from the reports that we were seeing, the amount of players United were linked to, like, I think in the summer, I'm going to have to make a whiteboard. Like, I'm genuinely going to make a whiteboard and list every player that has been linked to Manchester United, because we're easily linked to about 100 players every single summer, and we only end up signing 4 or 5. We should be signing from the Premier League, though. It's so stupid if we don't league proven. What's the likelihood United would sign a player like Morgan Rogers? What is the likelihood United? Like Morgan Rogers, yeah. When I was watching that City game, I'm sure a lot of you guys watched it. It's been a long time it's been a long time since I've seen a Manchester United player bully a team the way Morgan Rogers did for the goal that he scored. The way that he got the ball from their own third, and I think he barged past about 3 City players, went out wide, put the ball out wide, came central, and managed to finish it off. I don't think I've seen a United player do that in a long time. I'd get Wharton. What is this obsession with Wharton? Wharton, Kudus, Eze. Again, Eze. Nuri, Braithwaite to be bench players. Robert, bro, I think you're playing Football Manager. Villa would probably want like 70 million for Morgan Rogers. Yeah, they would. No club is making it easy for Manchester United to sign a player. That's all I'm saying. No club is making it easy for Manchester United to sign a player. Listen, guys, be sure to hit the like button if you've just come through. The likes and the views is not really adding up right now. So make sure you guys hit the like button if you've just come through. You know the rules, man. You come in, you wipe your feet, you say hi to everyone in the chat, and you hit the like button as well. We'll be live for the Straight Jacket podcast as well in about 5 minutes on Saeed's channel. So make sure you lot come over there as well after that. After this stream, sorry, so we can talk more about Manchester United. Let me see what else you guys are saying in the chat. Morgan Rogers has a 6-year contract. Yeah, okay, never mind about that one. Then let's just focus on ourselves. But listen, guys, be sure to hit the like button. Just quickly on that news about Victor Osimhen, if you guys missed it, is being now reported. Quite a few journalists are now tapping in with some news as well about Victor. So, wow, Victor Osimhen has become the newest topic. It's really become the newest topic now. Sky Sports are reporting Manchester United are in talks with Victor Osimhen's agent. Personal terms will not be a problem. Marcus Rashford's departure in January can open the possibility for a deal. So, like I said, it does seem like a big part of what Manchester United do in the January transfer window is dependent on people leaving. I mean, surprise, surprise. We've been knowing Man United ain't got money like that. So I'm not surprised at that as well. Just quickly, guys, would you... What? Sporting have sacked their new manager, João Pereira, as in the guy that just took over 5-6 games ago. Damn. Just quickly, though, guys, on the Victor Osimhen thing. Yes, just say yes or no in the chat. Would you have Victor Osimhen in January? On a permanent deal, not on a loan. On a permanent deal, would you guys have Victor Osimhen? Because I would. I absolutely would have Victor Osimhen. Show says no straight away. Oh, right, you lot are actually saying no. Okay, why? Why are you guys saying no to Victor Osimhen? A guy that can score, he can get in behind, he's strong, he's physical. Nah, this is mad. Da'ala, you're bugging. Da'ala, you are bugging. Rasmus is not better than Osimhen. He is not better than Osimhen. The only thing that worries me about Victor Osimhen is it's his what's it called? Goal rate, goals to shot rate. That's the only worry I have of him. How is he doing right now in Turkey? Because I'm not gonna sit here and say that I watched the Turkish league. He has 12 goals, 5 assists in 15 games in all competitions. So that's a 17 goal contribution. If I'm not wrong, he's got more goals in the league. He's got more goals in the Turkish league than Højlund and Zirkzee have combined in the league. It is the Turkish league. That's true. It is the Turkish league. But I genuinely think he went to the Turkish league, guys, yeah, just to be playing football. because Napoli were gonna take they were gonna ban him, I think, from the training with the team. He wasn't gonna train with the first team because he was obviously tried to force a way out, him and his agent. They couldn't get a move to Chelsea in the end. It was reported that he was going to train with, he wasn't even going to be allowed at the training facilities. So he had to leave. And he just went to somewhere where he would play football. That's it. But saying that Højlund is better than him, that's mad. That's mad. I'm looking at what we got right now at home, and I'm thinking United need an upgrade on number 9. If it was up to you, before we wrap it up, left wing back striker, United can sign one in the January transfer window on a permanent deal. Who are you signing? Are you signing a left wing back or are you signing a striker? And if so, what would you sign? Who would you sign? Chat just want Gyökeres. Everybody wants Gyökeres. Everyone. I think United fans collectively want Gyökeres. For me, I'm signing a left wing back, guys, because I think the left wing back is United are so stagnant on the wide side, on the wide channels. It's actually so difficult to watch. Striker, lol. We have Anthony. Oh man. For me, I look at our wingback situation and it's just so dire. Like strikers, I feel like I can get past it to an extent. Like we can wing it for a bit. But left wingback, I can't, no pun intended, I can't wing it anymore. I can't wing it anymore. It has to, that problem at left wingback has to be solved ASAP. ASAP. Tyrell Malacia, by the way, I can't believe people are ripping into the guy's playing football. What, his 3rd game after double knee surgery? Come on, man. Don't be harsh on Malacia, guys. Don't be harsh. You can have your questions, but for me, Tyrell Malacia was never going to be a starter for Manchester United. He was never, ever going to be a starter. But listen, guys, be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe. Don't go anywhere because this will redirect you to the Straight Jacket podcast where we'll be live. I'm sure Nuruddin has a lot to say. I need to get my earmuffs ready because I'm sure Nuruddin has a lot to say about that game and about certain players, etc., etc. So be sure to hit the like button as well. If you have an opinion on Dilapmina, I like him. I said I'd have him at United. But as a not as a learner striker, but as a backup option, I'd have him 100%. I really like Zirkzee. So do I. Zirkzee is my number 1. If I could get a wing back out of all the wing backs, Nouri, Alphonso Davies actually would be my number 1. Zirkzee would be my number 2. Robertson, Nouri, Theo Hernandez, etc. That's the 2 that I'm taking. But listen, guys, be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe. I'll be back tomorrow, inshallah, with the daily dose of Minna. Hopefully, we got some better stuff to talk about in it. Hopefully, the mood and the vibe is a lot better. What do we have coming up during the week? We've got a lot of stuff coming up. We've got the best and worst of 2024. So I'm going to do a stream where we talk about the best and the worst stuff for Manchester United over the course of the year. We got the daily dose of Minna. We have the match views as well. And we've got regular videos coming. So make sure you turn on your post notifications. So when I post or I go live, you get notified, man. Big up to everyone. I hope you have a wonderful evening. And I hope to catch some of you lot on the Straight Jacket podcast. I'm out, guys. Peace.